Okay, everybody, welcome to day 3 of my surf shop. Today we're looking at part 3, which is obtaining a business loan. So a lot of times when someone starts a business, obviously it's very expensive. So what they'll do is take out a loan. Okay, I know as a middle schooler you may not be familiar with these, but we're going to take a look at it today. So we have choosing a loan based off of your startup costs from part 1 and 2. So we want to look at what our total costs are going to be from what we did in parts 1 and 2. That will kind of dictate how much of a loan you're going to need, okay, because we're going to think that we don't have any money in our pocket to start this. So we'll fill out the loan application and answer the questions at the end. So we're going to go through, and we notice that the rates are all the same. This is something obviously myself and the other teachers in the room can help you with. They're all the same, but depending on how much you want to take out, just like when you buy a house or buy a car or a motorcycle or anything that you have to, what we call finance, it's going to be a little bit different over the course of time, okay? So we're going to go through that. Now you'll see after this we also have a blank copy of this with no numbers put in. I'm going to leave that in there as like scratch work, but I don't really think that we're going to necessarily need that, right? So when we talk about an interest rate, we're just going through, you'll see this in 7th grade. Interest would be your your principal, which you initially borrow, which would be that. This would be the P, times your rate, which is always your percentage. So for all of this, it's the 6%. This is the rate over the course of time, right? Which is right here. All right. So once you get that, it's in order to find out our monthly payments, which they've already nicely done for us here. We would figure out what we're going to have to pay back each month, all right? And obviously it's a little more because this is how the banks make their money. All right, and then the next part is your questionnaire, not the application, but your questionnaire. So we want to answer the following questions based off the loan you chose. All right, you want to make sure, like we said before, that you're getting a loan that will cover all your costs, which may be different from one person to the next, depending on how many items you want in your store. All right, so the first thing will be how much interest will you pay every year? So this is where we're going to help you with where you do interest will equal the principal times the rate times the time. Okay, that's the total interest that you're going to have to pay, all right, in addition to what you've already initially borrowed, and we'll go through that. Number 2 says, how much interest will you pay in total over the life of the loan? All right, so this is per year, so I'll show you how to do that. This is the total over the entire life of the loan, not per year, but the entire, maybe it's 5 years, all right, so what would it be after the 5 years, after the 10 years, and so on and so on. 3 says, how will the monthly payment affect your business? Well, don't forget you have rent. You have to pay keep in mind that you have to pay your employees. All right, there's also utilities, which is like electric, gas, all those types of things, running water. 4, it says, what do you do with any extra money you have from your loan after you pay for the items from your startup costs? All right, so if there's money left over, what are some of the things that you may want to do with it? Some people may say that you're going to pay that back right away. So you may pay it right back. Some people say buy more surfboards. All right, and you can come up with your own. We'll discuss this in class. One might be use it as emergency money. All right, and these are things that could be different from one person to the next. All right, and then the last sheet that we'll work on for today, although there's only 3 sheets, it's a little bit more math intensive, is filling out your application. So the first part's pretty straightforward. Okay, for this part here, I would probably use my school email, even though it's not technically operational. Your business name would be, what the name of your surf shop is. Here, what I would say is you could put a surf shop, but if you want to get technical about it, you could say retail, sports, like a Dick's Sporting's Good it falls in that category. The address, you can make one up. If you're keeping it in New Jersey, you can kind of like Google search a place. I would not use my actual home address. The opening date, you got to think about what time of year you would want to open this up so you get a lot of business. I mean, unfortunately for New Jersey, We live in a seasonal area where it might not be good to open it up in the winter because you're not going to get a lot of people that are probably trying to surf. All right, and then in this paragraph here, we want to write a brief paragraph explaining your business plan. So more or less from the previous page, how you're going to plan on spending this money. Okay, like why do you want this loan? Okay, and then the loan information. So basically, you're going to kind of go back and rewrite what you picked for your loans. Your loan amount, right? What we saw it as 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. The loan term, right? Which means like how long. So this part is how long, over the course of how many years. The interest rate, that's your percentage. Okay, your monthly payments, that's also listed there. And then here is just an agreement, because this is kind of like a contract. You would check it off and then sign your name. Okay.